Hey guys, Christmas Eve stock series episode. Happy holidays to everyone. Hope everyone's doing well. It is a happy holidays at the moment. So had a good week, up 7,000 on last week. Pretty good. This lot is up 4,000. It's largely Argo blockchain. Some of the others have done reasonably well. Alibaba and Baidu here are sort of pretty much flat. But yeah, the gold and silver not doing too bad, and crypto sort of starting to come back into life. The ISA is up about 2,000 again, sort of largely down to Argo, still biggest holding. Bullish going into sort of first quarter and maybe second quarter of next year. The ArcPi still not very happy, which is good. Looking to invest in that later on. Interestingly, the REITs don't seem to sort of be green when everything else is. I thought it was just coincidence, but it does seem to be almost sort of negatively correlated, which is interesting. Quite like that. Some of them are up, but yeah, sort of broadly, it does seem to. They seem to be red when everything else is green. So Argo 14% up. Today being a working day, it's gone up today as well. So yeah, crypto's been sort of doing fairly well this week. Sort of expecting a new year push to the upside, hopefully, but we'll see. The ETP hasn't really moved. That was sort of down to last week, really. Digital Realty down a little bit. First Majestic sort of pushing on, even though silver sort of not really doing tremendously well, but see where that goes. Realty 2.2 billion, 2.2% up. I was just sort of reading news about them sort of investing a few billion into Europe, sort of expanding, thinking Europe is the growth opportunity potentially. I knew they sort of invested a little bit in Sainsbury's and sort of one or two other, they seem to like supermarkets in Britain, so see if they push towards it. They're now 10% European, so I shall probably be adding to them at some point later on. But the industrial ones just still keep pushing on. Stag Industrial flat for the week, but up 40 or 39% now. So on top of a monthly dividend, can't complain at that. Sylvania starting to pick up a little bit. Rhodium sort of still pretty flat, but I think people are sort of maybe just, this isn't, it's a penny stock. There doesn't take a lot to move it, but maybe people are starting to acknowledge there's a lot of cash on the books and it's very low PE ratio and everything. So see where that goes. And the Tritaxes sort of haven't really moved anywhere. Vici up ever so slightly. I think people were a little bit worried about the new variant sort of being rough, but seems like it's maybe not as bad as people thought it was. Still early days yet, but yeah, so I expect Vici would do well on anticipation of sort of the casinos staying open. Is one that I would like to add to later on. So yeah, that's the ISA. As I say, sort of largely moving up due to Argo. And the invest account also up about 2,000 for the week. So as I say, fairly sort of broad across the market really, except the REITs. So the sort of tech just trickling up really, a couple of percent. A lot of the sort of US stuff is flat, maybe down a couple of percent to up a couple of percent. ASOS not doing too bad, but they're still sort of in a fair old low. Aviva sort of trickling up. Bank of Nova Scotia, Barrett's all sort of a couple of percent. Broadcom just continues to march on. That's 54% up now, with a healthy and growing dividend, so still liking them. eBay pretty flat. FedEx sort of moving up, had a very positive move on Monday and has sort of trickled around here, but not been able to sort of top any of these up really in the lows. Have to see, hopefully, if crypto moves, what will be good value sort of in Q1, Q2. Not really sure at the moment. Max quite similar, 10% up on the week. Been reading lots of sort of different stories of companies sort of accepting their display technology, looking in sort of car displays and sort of potential VR headsets and that sort of thing. Could even be a metaverse stock for only $2 billion. So quite like them, but they went down to $10. I wasn't able to add any more, but we'll see. Probably still would even at these prices. Intel back to sort of $51 really. Seems to have shrugged off the positive news around the Mobileye launch. And is back down to sort of $50, so still think it's a reasonable buy here. International paper down a little bit. I need to sort of have a reassess of them. Actually 10% down now. They did put out sort of divest part of the business, so I got a £200 dividend, I think. So it's not quite as bad as it's showing, but yeah, I think I'm probably still fairly bullish on them. The ETFs are largely down, ever so slightly. I've had my tax bill through for sort of most of the crypto sales from last year, and that's £15,000. So that's due next month. So leave your thoughts in the comments on what should be selling for that. I would imagine some people would say Bitcoin, but I'm just hesitant to sell that at these prices, and sort of some of these ETFs that don't really move a huge amount sort of month to month. Quite tempting to maybe get rid of the Europe ETF, maybe the US small cap value one that I've got down below, and maybe sort of one of the steady stocks, and hope that sort of crypto can yield better prices going forward, and then get back into these ETFs, and rather than sort of sell Bitcoin at the low, what I think is a low point now. So drop a comment on what you think. You see the portfolio here, 15,000 of it has got to go between this and the crypto at the end of next month. So we'll have to see. What else has moved? Not a huge amount there, 1 or 2% either way. Micron, I think people have suddenly sort of come round to the idea of Micron again. There's been some sort of bullish reports about the industry. I think sort of memory prices moving up again, and sort of thoughts of sort of oversupply have waned away now. So I think maybe sort of buying on the extreme lows is probably I think that ship has probably sailed. So I was in a fair old loss when this was around the sort of mid-60s, and now 20% up. So probably still I'd consider adding, but it wouldn't be the first one I'd be looking to add to at this sort of price. Nintendo, a couple of percent up. Porsche, a couple of percent down. Not a bad price to be adding. Process, interesting one, 5% up on the week. So I think I'm getting a dividend. Looks like Tencent are selling part of their, or divesting part of their JD.com stock. I don't think the Chinese government like them having quite so many stock holdings, and they probably see JD as sort of a little bit monopolistic. They own quite a big stake, so maybe they're not so bothered about them holding international companies, which is kind of what I was really interested in them holding, to be honest. They sort of buy a lot of gaming companies around the world, and they sort of take stakes in sort of minority stakes in other public companies, which I'm quite interested in. Not really so much interested in them sort of buying, 5, 10, 20% of Chinese companies, because I'd have those in the emerging markets ETF. So yeah, I think they're doing that. So Process will get a bit of money, and I assume Process may do a sort of either a special dividend, or they might do a buyback, or they might buy something. Either way, I'm happy, but does mean the price has gone up where I was looking to add on the lows. Still 17% down, so wouldn't be a bad buy. Raytheon, a couple of percent up. Renault, pretty much the same. Rio Tinto, they've, from the looks of it, had to scrap their large plans for the lithium mine in Serbia. Looks like they're trying to buy another company rather than sort of start from scratch. But yeah, they sort of had a big plan for a lithium mine, I think, in about 4 or 5 years. But looks like it's been scrapped. So yeah, we'll have to see where that goes, but they may be still buying a lithium company. I think I saw it was about $1 billion. So still looking to get into lithium and sort of diversify away a little bit from iron ore. Shell 3% up, not too much happening with that. Oil price sort of recovering a little. Samsung 4% up. I think again sort of the thoughts of buying a big load of this in the sort of mid 1300s have maybe died away a little bit. Sega not moving too much. Seneca pretty much the same. Siemens pretty flat. Sony flat as well. US small cap value, couple of percent up. So yeah, this one's 25% up. Not sure how well the value stocks will do, to be honest, and doesn't move a huge amount. So yeah, really sort of considering this and the Europe ETF might be the ones to go, along with something else for the tax bill. This is one I'd get back into later on. Stellantis, not really moved. TSMC up a little. Taylor Wimpey, 5% up, so it's not too bad. I haven't seen any sort of specific news on this, but could be just sort of housing market looking a little better. UK put up our interest rates, so thought they might have seen a bit of a drop on this, but we'll see. We've still got a housing shortage, so can't believe it would take probably a lot for housing market to properly take a downturn. Tesla 15% up on the week, so looks like Elon is done with his selling. So I was sort of thinking may not have been a bad buy to sort of get in at the 900s. Looked like he was nearly done with his selling, and people would sort of try and front run that buy in before he's finished. So yeah, could have been a nice swing trade if I could have been bothered. I was looking at selling sort of in the 1200 odds, and could have bought back at 900, but there you go. I didn't bother. Turtle Beach, couple of percent down. Tyson, pretty much the same. Vale, Yeah, again, would have been nice to sort of be buying Vale in the sort of, yeah, they got to 11.50, 11.20 even, but yeah, probably still would at these prices. Only got 880 quid, so. Video games ETF. Not sure whether this one would be one to go to pay for the tax bill, to be honest. I got my individual gaming stocks in sort of Nintendo and Sega and bits and pieces. So we'll see. And then Viatris sort of 5% up, had a fairly good week. And Volkswagen a couple of percent down. So yeah, broadly sort of pretty much everything on the up. See where the next week goes, and then on to 2022. So yeah, drop your comments down below. Sort of, how's your year been? What are you looking forward to for next year? And see you soon.